will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have because the truth should be out there. What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
But you can rest assured that based on the investigation we've done, the text messages we have, the receipts that'll go along with that complaint, she's dead in the water.
Blake Lively was no victim here. She was in control, she was in power, and she took over this film.
She was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film, even if she's the lead, and that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her to get past what appears to be the fact that she is an egotistical.
Seems like Blake Lively's days of flying under the radar might be over, as Megyn Kelly has launched a full-scale investigation to expose what she claims are Blake's biggest lies. Megyn isn't pulling any punches, and the evidence she's bringing forward could put a massive dent in Blake's reputation. What's even more shocking is the claim that Blake's behavior may be driven by motives much darker than anyone could have anticipated. Kelly's legal team has reportedly uncovered some seriously damaging receipts, and according to insiders, they point to Blake twisting the truth for her own gain from the very beginning. But what's truly eye-opening are the allegations about her use of close friends like Taylor Swift and even her own husband, Ryan Reynolds, to allegedly intimidate people, including fellow actor and director Justin Baldoni. If this wasn't enough, there's talk that Blake may have gone so far as to threaten to pull out of their joint project, It Ends With Us, if producers didn't meet her increasingly absurd demands. But make no mistake, this story is about far more than just a feud over a film or an inflated ego. Seems like Blake had a master plan all along, one that was calculated and, as some suggest, even manipulative. And now that Justin Baldoni is fighting back, the layers of deception that were once hidden are slowly starting to peel away. Blake initially came after Justin with a lawsuit, accusing him of everything from defamation to intimidation, claiming he orchestrated a smear campaign to damage her reputation. But Justin quickly countered with his own lawsuit, alleging that it was Blake who was behind a campaign to destroy his public image. Now, with the latest leaks, this dispute is revealing far more than just two stars at odds. As more information comes out, it's clear that Blake's public persona may be a carefully crafted facade. Before we dive into the most recent bombshells, it's important to rewind and examine how all of this began. Long before Blake's legal battle with Justin became front-page news, the cracks in her public image were starting to show. Blake's fall from grace didn't happen overnight, and according to some fans, it wasn't even Justin who caused it, despite her claims. In fact, Blake's own behavior may have been what set the wheels in motion for her downfall. When Blake and Justin first teamed up to work on It Ends With Us, everything seemed fine on the surface. However, things quickly changed when fans began noticing something off during the film's promotional tour. Blake's interactions and interviews were strange, and her responses gave off an unsettling vibe. Some fans went back through her past interviews and found a pattern. Blake wasn't the charming, relatable star people once thought she was. Instead, she came across as dismissive, self-centered, and at times downright rude. In an effort to salvage her reputation, Blake pointed the finger directly at Justin, accusing him of being behind a smear campaign to make her look bad. She even went as far as publishing a piece in the New York Times, claiming that Justin's PR team was planting negative stories about her. But it wasn't long before this narrative began to unravel. Newly leaked evidence suggests that the text messages referenced in the article were manipulated to paint Justin in a worse light. The New York Times left out crucial details, and now the public is beginning to see Blake's story fall apart. Does any of this sound familiar? If you're thinking of Amber Heard's infamous case with Johnny Depp, you're not alone. In fact, Amber Heard herself has come out of hiding to throw her support behind Blake. But this might be the worst move Blake could have made. Much like Amber's attempt to paint Johnny as a villain backfired spectacularly, Blake's efforts to make Justin the bad guy are starting to fall apart in a very similar fashion. Amber's saga didn't end well for her, and now it looks like Blake could be heading down the same path. One of the biggest mistakes Blake seems to have made is underestimating her fans. Many believe she thought people would blindly take her side, but as it turns out, her supporters are far more discerning than she anticipated. From her dismissive attitude toward interviewers to her attempts to shift the focus back to herself whenever the topic veered to someone else, Blake's behavior has alienated many of her once loyal fans. In one now infamous interview, Blake was asked about her husband Ryan Reynolds, but instead of answering the question, she turned the conversation into an opportunity to promote her hair care line. Fans weren't impressed. But what's even more telling is how Blake has handled the themes of her latest movie. Ends With Us deals with serious, heavy topics, yet Blake's attitude during press interviews seemed completely out of touch with the weight of the film. In one particularly jarring clip, Blake was seen laughing and making light of situations that should have been handled with far more sensitivity. It's no wonder her fans began turning against her, and now, with Justin Baldoni's legal team ready to present hard evidence against her, Blake could be facing a public relations nightmare of epic proportions. Perhaps the most shocking revelation to come out of this entire debacle is the claim that Blake tried to take over the film from Justin completely. Justin, who wasn't just the star of It Ends With Us but also the writer and director, was allegedly blindsided when Blake went ahead and made her own director's cut of the movie without consulting him. But it gets worse. Reports suggest that Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, even contributed to writing some of the scenes, something that Justin had no knowledge of. To say that Justin was stunned is an understatement. But Blake didn't stop there. During the film's premiere, Justin and his friends and family were reportedly forced to sit in the basement, completely removed from the event. Seems like Blake was intent on stealing the spotlight for herself. As more text messages between Justin and Blake come to light, it's becoming clear that her behavior wasn't just about creative differences. Blake had her own agenda from the very beginning. And if you thought the drama stopped there, think again. Justin's legal team has leaked even more damaging evidence, including text messages that completely undermine Blake's accusations of inappropriate behavior. Blake claimed that Justin invaded her personal space and showed up unannounced while she was in compromising situations. But leaked messages reveal that Blake herself invited Justin to her trailer on one of those very occasions. In fact, the message shows that Blake was comfortable enough to have Justin visit while she was pumping breast milk for her baby. Justin's response shows no sense of urgency, as he didn't rush to meet her, further debunking Blake's claims of boundary violations. One of the more serious allegations Blake made was against Justin's best friend and producer, Jamie Heath. Blake accused him of showing her highly inappropriate material, which she described as traumatic and pornographic. However, it turns out that the video in question was of Jamie's wife giving birth, a deeply personal and artistic piece of footage meant to capture the beauty of childbirth. Nothing about the video was remotely pornographic, and now this accusation looks more like a desperate attempt to smear both Justin and Jamie. Blake also accused Justin of making inappropriate comments about her body and fat-shaming her. According to Blake, Justin asked about her weight, which led her husband Ryan to confront Justin and scold him. But Justin has since explained that he asked about her weight for a very practical reason, due to a scene in the movie where he needed to lift her. Justin suffers from back issues and needed to know how much Blake weighed to ensure the scene could be performed safely. There was no fat-shaming involved, but once again, Blake appears to have twisted the truth to fit her narrative. What makes all of this even worse for Blake is the leaked messages that show Justin being nothing but supportive of her. In one conversation, Justin reassures Blake when she expresses concerns about her post-pregnancy body. Rather than being dismissive, Justin shows genuine care and compassion, which stands in stark contrast to the accusations Blake has made against him. Blake's lawsuit also took aim at the production itself, claiming that no intimacy coordinator was present during certain scenes. This claim, however, directly contradicts Blake's own words in interviews where she praised the use of an intimacy coordinator on set. In fact, Justin went out of his way to ensure Blake was comfortable with how the intimate scenes were shot, and there's even footage of Blake directing Justin during one of these scenes. But Blake's biggest misstep might be the scene she described in her lawsuit, where she claims Justin acted inappropriately during a slow dance scene. She accused him of being out of character and dragging his lips down her neck while making an inappropriate comment. However, the footage tells a different story. Not only was their sound recorded during the scene, but the conversation between Blake and Justin was far more innocent than she claimed. At one point, they were even talking about their spouses, hardly the uncomfortable scenario Blake painted in her lawsuit. Now, as the truth continues to come to light, Blake's strategy seems to be backfiring. In a last-ditch effort, she's filed a gag order to prevent Justin and his legal team from releasing any more evidence against her. But the damage may already be done. With each new piece of evidence that surfaces, Blake's credibility continues to crumble. So, what do you make of this shocking feud? Has Blake been lying all along, orchestrating her own smear campaign while playing the victim, or is there some truth to her claims? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update on this ongoing drama. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you all the latest developments in this rapidly unfolding story.